Hey everyone, welcome back to another Bridge the Gap podcast episode. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Scott.
And obviously, I look a little bit different.
Yeah, you got a haircut.
Very impulsive haircut, actually.
Yeah. Looks good, though.
Thank you.
Looks good.
The general consensus is that I look like mom now.
Oh. From
even,
who?
My best friend's mom, actually. I FaceTime my best friend, and she was at the mall with her sister and her mom. And her mom goes, "Lauren, you have bangs." And I was like, yeah. And she was like, "You look exactly like your mom," which is funny because I've always thought you favored your dad.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's a constant back and forth that I've heard from a lot of people. You either think I'm your twin or mom's twin. So
yeah, I think with you and your brother, you guys are a good blend of the two of us. Like, I think you, because of the coloring, because we're both pretty pale skinned by nature with the freckles and all that stuff. And then your brother is like tan, brown hair, brown eyes. Like he was dark coming out, and you were white and green eyes and blonde hair. I mean, you were definitely, but I think looks wise, you thank God you look more like your mom. You don't want to look like me.
Stop.
But people say the same thing with Ryan now. They're like, you look so much like your dad, especially like his soccer pictures and stuff.
I see you and Ryan more and more as he started to mature, and it is kind of weird for me.
Yeah.
Because I think even as the sister, I always thought he looked more like mom because of his coloring. So It's definitely funny. But I don't think, as much as Ryan and I are a good balance between the two of you, I don't think we look like siblings.
Yeah, you do.
I think we have similar like mannerisms and stuff, but it's like there's some siblings where it's like, oh, they have the same parents. Like you can see it. But Mom and Aunt Susie I don't think they look much alike, but their mannerisms are the exact same.
Yeah.
Like, and they talk the same way. So
yeah, it's
definitely stuff like that. But
I think it's easier to find those connections when it's same sex siblings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like brothers to brothers, sisters to sisters. Like my sister and I I don't think we look anything alike.
You guys have the exact same head shape, actually.
Oh, I don't even know what that means.
Like, Ryan is more square. I'm more oval. That's a head shape. You guys have the same, like, oval head.
All right.
It's not a bad thing. It's just an observation.
No, I didn't take it as a bad thing.
So I have an idea for something we can talk about today.
Okay.
And it just came to mind after hanging out with one of my friends.
Yeah.
And, everyone has their nights where they drink a little too much. And we were talking the next morning, and we identified the fact that we as humans seem to have, and this doesn't go for everybody, obviously, there's exemptions to everything, or exceptions to everything, exemptions.
I knew what you meant.
Thank you. That we seem to have more of a reaction to alcohol than some people do from Mary Jane. And I'm only calling it that because I don't want it to get flagged or anything, but so we'll refer to it as the Mary Jane. But from my experience is I have definitely noticed that when hanging out with people, the ones that choose to drink alcohol tend to get a lot worse than the people that just smoke beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
And I just find it interesting. So I think we can talk about our opinion on like the legalization and stuff like that, because again, alcohol, I've seen people do a complete 180 from how they normally are. Some people who are nice and cheery sober, all of a sudden when they get drunk, they're angry and they're mean. And it's so interesting to watch that emotional flip. And then you hear of abusive parents that usually have a tie to alcoholism because their emotions are unbalanced. But every time I've been around somebody who's smoked, they're just there to hang out, man. Like they don't, there's no reaction like that. Right. And obviously there's the exception of, greening out and stuff like that. But I just find it interesting. So I thought we could kind of talk about our opinions on the situation and all that kind of stuff. Cause I know you growing up in California have some stories about both. So, I
have a lot of stories.
Yeah. No. So I thought we could talk about that.
Yeah, it's a good topic. It's interesting how, once again, generationally, it's different, right? And the perception of it and all that. Because, first of all, I'll go on record. I've never understood why it is illegal. I mean, I understand because I can read. So I understand how we got here, but I've never understood why people are so adamantly for the making it an illegal, illicit substance, right? And just like with anything, whether it's alcohol, anything, if you abuse it, it's going to be negative for you anyway, right? And I've seen people abuse alcohol. I've seen people abuse Mary Jane, if that's what we're going to call it. I've seen people abuse harder chemically based drugs, right?
See, I understand why, again, the chemically based ones are illegal because those do affect emotion and perceptive. I don't know what's wrong with me today.
You need to go back to school.
Okay. Perception and all that kind of stuff. So I definitely understand the chemical ones, but I'm sure as you were about to touch on, and I apologize for interrupting.
That's okay.
Mary Jane's naturally occurring. It grows in the earth. Yeah. So it's like.
And that was, when I was younger. So listen, when I grew up in the 80s, President Reagan, his wife, the first lady, her big thing was say no to drugs. Like that was the big slogan, right?
The DARE program.
Yeah. So we grew up with Mary Jane being lumped into all drugs, right? So it was just no. And then, then you get into high school and people start doing things, but I never did it only because really for two reasons. One, I was an athlete and I just couldn't see how that could help me when I'm running. Right? You're inhaling smoke into your lungs or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. I just didn't see it that I just was like, no, I'm not going to do that. But I would say 98% of my friends did, right? And then I think
we all know somebody who smokes.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it is what it is. But you're right. But then when I lived in LA and worked in Hollywood, I saw people do all sorts of stuff and they all did that as well. And many of them were addicted to it. And they say it's not addictive. I don't think there's any substance out there that you can't get addicted to. I don't know why it is. I mean, I know why. And it's very interesting, and I think it's very relevant to what we've talked about before, right? There was a sensationalized media in the 1930s that portrayed it as dangerous and addictive, and it leads to all this stuff, right?
At the same time that they were drinking mercury for illness.
Right. Meanwhile, you have actual cocaine and Coca-Cola, and you have... you have all sorts of drugs in pharmaceuticals, which leads to part two, which is the political lobbying for special interests like the pharmaceutical companies and the liquor companies that didn't want marijuana. Oh, sorry, I can't say that. Mary Jane to be out there, right? So it's unbelievable, tale as old as time, right? So I understand how we got there. That's why. Why is it still? I have no idea. And in many states, they've legalized it. I get it. We don't live in one that has legalized it. But interestingly enough, now you have these THC-infused drinks that give you the same euphoria of it. You can fail a drug test if you drink them, but it's not legal. So there's always loopholes. And I'm like, what are we doing? But to your point, I don't know if anybody I've heard of ever took a hit of the Mary Jane and went out and slaughtered people because they had people talking in their brains like LSD or whatever, right? And I also I also relate pretty well with the whole it comes from the earth. That was my whole argument when I was younger was I don't think Mary Jane or mushrooms should be illegal because they grow from the earth. How bad can they be for you? They grow from the soil. Now, mushrooms do jack with your perception of everything. So maybe that's not a good argument to make after I just made the last one. But
no, because I was thinking that when I originally said that it grows from the earth, I was like, wait, so do mushrooms, but those are hallucinogenics.
Yeah, they are.
So maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to say that, but then have the backing.
Right. Yeah. So it's. Listen, if I could do anything, like if I had any power, I'd be like, no. Why are we making that illegal when you make alcohol legal, when you make cigarettes legal, when you make vapes legal, when you make all these other things that does horrible damage to your body? Why are we isolating this one? It just doesn't make sense to me,
I agree. And I also agree when you said that anything really can become an addiction. I mean, people don't want to talk about it. And I'm a victim myself. I have it sitting right here. Caffeine addiction. That's a real thing. I did a whole new segment on it in high school. Sugar addiction is a real thing. That's what happens a lot when people find themselves obese. It's because they're addicted to the sugar and they can't stop it. So I do agree that anything can be an addiction. And I don't know. I just focus so much on the fact that when I've talked to people who have smoked before, I'm like, do you ever have gaps in the night? Because you drank alcohol, you have a few, you remember the beginning, and then you wake up in your bed and you're like, I don't know what happened. That seems so seriously unhealthy, and it is unhealthy. But the fact that it's just I mean, I said at the beginning of the episode, everyone has those nights. I feel like it should not be that socially acceptable to not remember an entire evening. It's crazy. And people who smoke have different reactions to it, but never have I ever heard anybody go, oh yeah, one time I smoked a joint and I was just enraged the whole night. Right. Oh yeah, I ended up cheating on so-and-so because I was just blah, 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 which intoxication is never an excuse for cheating in the first place. That's a different topic, but I've never heard that. And people drink alcohol and just sometimes go completely off the rails to where you're looking at them and you're like, who are you? Right. What is happening? So it's just so interesting to me. I also don't understand. I understand why it's legal, like you said, but at this point, with as much evidence that we have that it's not even that bad, really? Yeah. I don't understand then why it is still illegal. And even with states legalizing it, it's a hard thing to do because there are rules if you legalize it, because federally it's illegal. So even though your state has legalized it, we did a whole I don't remember what class it was for, but we watched a documentary in school. This guy in Colorado had a cannabis farm, and he went through the proper documentation from the state. It was legal in his state. The FBI got word of it, came and raided his whole farm, and now he's broke. And he's like, I just don't get that, because if power is to the states, then, and my state said it was okay, then why can the FBI come in and just to go, oh, just kidding. It's like dangling a carrot in front of a donkey and expecting it not to bite. It's crazy. And I just don't, the hypocrisy of it is insane to me.
There's definitely hypocrisy with it. I'll give you that. But you're also young still, right? You're 21. So yeah. So when you say I've never seen, I have. I mean, I've seen people smoke way too much and they lose their damn minds. I mean, they hallucinate. I mean, they hallucinate like crazy, right?
Greening out. That's the term for it.
They get the shakes. They go nuts. They're paranoid, which could lead to violent acts, even though collectively it doesn't induce that type of response like alcohol or other drugs do. So I have seen that. Most people that I know and have known, they don't just do that. It's always associated with something else, whether it's an alcoholic beverage or something else. And I'm not, by no means am I standing here saying it's a gateway drug. And once you start that, you're going to do all this other stuff. That's bullshit. But very rarely do I see someone just light up, take a couple hits, and then that's all they ever do, right? They're usually drinking a beer or alcohol or something. Or, in my case, when I was not much older than you, it was usually led to something more hardcore, just was socially. So, I have seen those things. It's such a weird thing because the states have the power, and I'm all for states' rights, all for it. I mean, that's why we're the United States of America. We're not just America.
Yeah.
But it does make it hard, right? Because you have states that do it, states that don't. Like I worked for a national company that were in states that they legalized it. And they said, listen, even though it's legal, we're still going to test you. And if you pop, you're not going to work here, right? So then you have all the legal obligations and challenges. And then I've heard from a lot of people that live in states with it, where it's legal, the taxes on it are so ridiculously high that it's super expensive. And so, they complain about the cost, right? So it's like, but then on the flip side, if you're getting it illegally now, especially at this day and age, it's laced with fentanyl, and so you die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when I was growing up, it was illegal. It's not illegal in the state I grew up in. But it was illegal, but we were right next to Mexico. You go down, my buddies, we used to go down all the time. We've already talked about that. We surf, go do stuff, and then you grab a bag and you bring it back over, right? Breaking every law in the world, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't laced. It wasn't, you know what I mean? Like it was just different. And it's funny because I talked to my parents, your grandparents' age, and they talk about what it was like in the 60s, and I'm talking about what it was like in the 80s and 90s, right? And so it's like I think the scariest part that I have with it not being legal is where kids or young adults get it, especially with this fentanyl that's out there now. I mean, I never in a million years could imagine when I was your age that someone could take a hit off a J and die. Like it's crazy. If anything, you took a hit and it was like, oh, this is terrible. It's shake seed infested, terrible stuff, right? It tastes like dirt. People used to say that all the time, right? Because it was crappy.
But it was safe.
But it wasn't going to kill you,
No.
Like now it'll kill you. So it is weird. Alcohol is interesting. I mean, alcohol, like I said, I've drank my fair share. I've had my fair share of blackouts. I've had my fair share of anger with
same.
alcohol. I've had my fair share of crazy behavior.
I've never really done anything crazy.
Give it time.
I know, but I think I'm just not a very impulsive person in general. Like for me to have done this haircut just on a whim was really out of character for me. And you can attest to that. I'm not an impulsive person. I'm a planner like you are. It was the mom kicking into me.
She'll love that part.
I've had my fair share of anger, but it's usually because something was already going on in my life. So then I just kept beating a dead horse.
Right.
Or I get sad. I'll cry a lot.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Like I'll start listening to music and I'll be like, I used to sit in my dad's car and listen to this song and I'm old and all right now. And my friends are like, Lauren, shut the hell up. We're in the middle of a bar. Like, get it together.
Right. Well, that's where, I totally relate to that. So I'm not an impulsive person. I have no addiction issues at all. And I mean, I drink diet sweet tea if that's an addiction.
It's literally, this is my only vice.
Right. Well, and I say that because there was a time in my early 20s where I was drinking a bottle of booze a day. Easy. And partying.
I don't think that's normal.
It wasn't, but it was for where I was in the time. And and everything. It was totally
whatever
normal.
You need to say to make yourself feel better about it.
I was not abnormal with my group of people. So I've experienced all of it, right? I've experienced the anger nights because I have a temper. I mean, look at me. I scream temper. To quote your grandmother,
and it was genetic.
I came out angry. Your grandmother will tell you that about me. So of course I've had the anger, you know, but I've had the emotional side too. Like when Pop died, when my dad died, I didn't have time to grieve because we were out there. He died. You guys were flying back here the day he died. And then I'd take care of my mom and just the whole navigation of it. I didn't have time to grieve. And then I got home and one night drank, put some music on, and I grieved, right? So I've experienced that part. I've experienced making dumb decisions. I've experienced having liquid courage. I mean, I've experienced all of it. I drank a lot. I mean, I really did. But I ever got addicted to it. I mean, if you told me I couldn't have another drop of alcohol today, I'd be like, huh, that sucks, but okay.
Yeah.
I'll be fine.
I personally would be pissed off because now I'm legal, but
that would suck.
That would suck. I'd be like, I waited.
Yeah. So, you know, with all that being said, I think if I was a habitual smoker, then I probably would have the same types of emotional attachments to it that I do with my drinking in my early 20s, right? Like, I mean, I've watched people get really high and they get all emotional and sad and then get goofy and do dumb things. And, you know, so I for all those reasons, it just comes back to why are we differentiating it? And I think it just goes back to the whole media, which is crazy in the 1930s. And the weaponization of lobbying against industries to promote your own. And we talked about the pharmaceutical industry already, and they've lobbied back then against it. The liquor companies lobbied against it because they wanted to pad their pockets and profits, right? To this day, I will die on the hill to say I have no understanding why it's illegal in the United States. I just don't. It doesn't make sense. It's so funny.
And it's funny how so far every conversation that we've had almost always ties back to media.
Power of the media.
If you think about it, like every conversation we've had, we've mentioned how the media has impacted it in some way. But to go back to where you said you're worried about where kids get it today, unfortunately, the safest way for us to do it is, and by us I mean not me, just Gen Z in general. I'm not interested in all that.
Disclaimer.
But the safest way to do it is through either a pen or a cart. And I will explain.
I understand the pen.
Yeah, it's basically, the cart's the same thing. It's a vape type with the oil that you would take from, it's like what you put in an edible to make it an edible. It's the oil from the bud. And that's the safest way to do it. Fortunately, they're not the healthiest alternative. Because they're still gonna have a little bit of chemicals in them. I mean, you're smoking a battery. Battery turns on, heats up, the substance turns into a vapor, and you inhale it. So it's definitely not the safest alternative, but it's a hell of a lot better than accidentally smoking a joint that's laced with fentanyl.
Right.
It is so crazy though, the fentanyl thing, because when you said it, it made me think there's this video of this kid. His mom was recording him after surgery because he said he wanted to see it. And he's laying there. And the nurse is like, so we gave him a small dose of fentanyl. His eyes snap open. He goes, fentanyl? And it's the funniest video because the nurse starts laughing. She goes, it's the safe kind. You're okay.
Right.
He literally is laying there just like drugged out. And he goes, fentanyl. And I'll try to find it and send it to you. It's a hilarious video.
That's funny. So
it's good that like we're aware that those things can happen, and then there are the alternatives for those who do want to do it still.
Right.
It's just unfortunate that we can't trust the source anymore.
Right.
There's no buddy system. I mean, the best you can do is find a person that does it and gets their stuff organically. and then you're friends with them, so
That's
you know you're smoking good stuff.
That's
but
the
it's
same
like,
as it's been for 100 years, right? Like,
yeah, but then
like,
you have to trust your friend to trust their source.
right.
So it's just
That's the same way. I mean,
lacing it nowadays is crazy.
I remember my buddies, they'd be like, I got a guy. Okay. And they trusted the
right.
guy, right? Like, so that's all the same. I think for me, like growing up in Southern California and San Diego, there was no question where we could go to get it. I mean, like, if you show up at a party and someone has it, you're like, oh, I know exactly where you got it, right?
Yeah.
That in Humboldt County, which is way up north, Northern California, right? So you either got it way up there, which was really clean and good, or you got it in Mexico. It was no shock. Like, nobody walked up and was like, dude, where'd you get that? You know? Nowadays, you say this is how they do it. Where do they get it, though? Because every state around us, it's illegal. Every state. So, like that's always what's fascinating me. Like, even growing up in the 80s, if I lived in Kansas, well, they probably just grow it themselves there. But if you're, like, in the middle of nowhere, like, where do you get it? You know?
Actually, a lot of people grow it more than you would expect, because it's easy to blend in with other plants.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for the specific leaf, you're gonna find it. But if you're just walking past a garden, we've probably driven by houses that are literally growing it in their backyard.
Probably.
And we probably sat there and go, look at how nice their greenery is.
Right.
And they're coming out back to chop it up and go smoke it. So,
but like the pens, like, you can't buy them anywhere around us. So does somebody?
Yeah, you can.
With THC in them?
You just go to a vape shop.
They have them there?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't even know that, because I don't go to a vape shop because I don't vape. Why would I do that?
I've just gone with a friend.
Huh. See, like, how do they get away with that, though?
I don't know.
It's kind of like the cans, right? Like, you can literally go to the liquor store and buy THC-infused beverages. Water, seltzers,
Next time I go to the
sodas.
liquor store, I'm going to look for it and see if I can find it.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, that's what... So, like, what are we doing? Like, let's just make it legal. If you can get around it and people are getting it, it boggles my mind. You know what I mean? Like,
and the other thing, if you get caught with a cart, you don't get a charge for possession of illegal substance.
Do you get a ticket?
You get a ticket. There's a fine to pay, yeah, for having a device like that. But they don't give you possession of illegal substance. But I'm like, but it is. Like, but it is. Like, you're not supposed to have it.
Right.
And I guess maybe because it's the oil, but you also won't get it. If you have edibles, you don't get charged with possession of illegal substance.
Right.
I mean, I know someone whose dad is in law enforcement, and she's got really bad arthritis from health issues, and her dad gets it for her. And he's literally law enforcement. And he gets it for her because it helps her arthritis. It literally calms her joints down.
Right.
So if even law enforcement guys, like, are we serious?
Well, like, I get it. Like I said, you know, what's interesting is when I look it up and kind of see what's good, what's bad, right? So there's still a black market in states that have it legal, right? Because, like I said, the taxes and the regulations are so high that it makes it unaffordable. So there's other ways to get it, right? There's still the issue with driving while impaired, right? No matter what you want to say,
yes,
you're still impaired.
100%.
Right?
Yep.
The regulation of potency, right? So I've done my research on this. You know, you get a pack of gummies and it'll say 200 milligrams. So then you have to take each gummy and divide it by, you know, say there's 10, then each gummy is 20 milligrams, right? So there's this potency mathematic thing that I'm sure people aren't paying attention to. And then they talk about increased hospitalization. So they say there's some studies out there that say in states where it's legal, following legalization, there's increases in hospitalization due to cannabis use, which is interesting, which almost contradicts the alcohol versus cannabis, right? Is like, cannabis is easier, it's safer, well, maybe it's not. I don't know. What I do know is that if one definitely causes this and there's another one that does almost the same exact thing, then why are we differentiating between the two? That doesn't
What's
make sense.
interesting with the hospitalization thing, though, is I feel like I feel like it can still happen with alcohol.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, 20-year-old at a house party can drink and not drink too much because they have the fear of getting in trouble with law enforcement. Then they turn 21. There's no more fear of getting caught. And so they go off the rails and get alcohol poisoning. So it's, if someone's been doing it for illegally, then they have that risk of getting caught. So they're probably a lot more conscious of how much they're doing and what their state is. Then when it's legalized, they don't have to worry about getting caught doing it. So they're like, oh, I can now smoke more. And then they end up greening out and freaking out and thinking they're having a heart attack and go to the hospital. So
right.
Again, it's, you know what I think our main thing has been here? If you're going to do something, do it in moderation, guys.
Yeah. That's been my story that I've raised you and your brother with. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say, don't eat this, don't drink that. 'Cause the reality is, it's sad, but you can go to food, right? Doritos when I was a kid wasn't like Doritos now. Doritos now are like one of the most unhealthy foods out there. It's on every list. Don't eat Doritos.
They're so good, though.
They're so good. They've always been good.
Those Cool Ranch Doritos. I know people love the nacho cheese.
I remember when they came out, Cool Ranch. So
everyone's the red Dorito lover. I'm like, give me that blue bag.
Yeah.
I will eat the Cool Ranch.
They weren't bad. I'm not sure they were great for you, but they weren't toxic.
Never have been,
like they are now. But it's impossible to tell a kid don't eat Doritos, right? Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so just do it in moderation. Don't eat a whole bag every single day. I used to drink Coca-Cola by the 2-liter bottle when I was in high school, right? All the time.
I probably have about 2 cups of coffee a day, depending on what I've got going on.
Yeah. But I was playing soccer 5 days a week, and I had like 1% body fat, and, I was young. If I drink a 2-liter bottle of Coke a day now, I'd be dead. You know what I mean? So it's like moderation. Same with drinking, right? I drank a lot. I've had times in my life where I drank more than I did at other times. But now I don't drink for the same reasons that I drank when I was your age, right? Like, I had a beer last night with dinner because we went out for me and mom's birthday, and that's it. I drank after the beer was done. I had water, and then we came back to the house, and I had diet sweet tea, right? So, everything in moderation I think is a good advice, right? Like, just be careful. Just don't overeat. Don't overdrink. Don't overstimulate. Don't understimulate. Like, just find your balance, right? Going to the gym every day for 9 hours a day is not good for you, right? Nope. Going every day for maybe an hour, that's probably good for you. You know what I mean?
If you're not, and just don't lift heavy weights every single day, and you'll be fine.
Which I regret now because all my joints hurt.
Well, it's like no one taught you, but that's okay.
Exactly.
I think another really toxic part of Gen Z, and it's because I don't know if it's our fault or like we've just watched it happen with like maybe the millennials, because a lot of things that we do is a direct result of something the millennials did, right? Like house parties. Those are so big in the 2010s because of movies like Superbad and what's it called? Project X. Because in our brains, we were like, oh, we're going to have a night like that, right? So that's why house parties are just so big. But a lot of people now don't drink unless they plan on getting drunk.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see a purpose in that. Just personally, like when we went to dinner, I had the one glass of wine. Did we go out after and drink? Absolutely. But we were celebrating my birthday. But I still didn't get drunk. I had a good buzz.
Right.
I was still coherent. I remember everything that was going on. So it's like, it's moderation. I drank to get a good buzz.
Yeah.
I had the one glass of wine at dinner, but I know people that are 21 that are like, oh no, I'm not going to get a drink at dinner. Why? I'm only going to have one. I was like, because it's fun and you can, and it's good. You don't have to do it to get drunk. And that's just a mentality that a lot of people have nowadays is I'm not drinking unless I'm getting drunk. And I'm like,
yeah.
Why?
Right.
Like,
that's
so you don't even like drinking. You just like getting drunk.
Right. Like, I don't think I've ever, well, let me back up. Number one, house parties were cool when I was a kid too. Cause we had all the 80s movies that were house parties like crazy, like Weird Science, etc.
Okay, we get it. You grew up
no.
in such an amazing time. Rub it in my face.
Somebody's so sensitive. I was just relating.
I was meant to be in that time, damn it.
I was relating. The second thing is there's been a few times where I'm like, I'm getting drunk. I need to detach. I just need to, but it's always at the house. Like I never, like when I went out when I was younger, besides my 21st birthday that I've already shared, it wasn't like, oh, let's go out and get fucked up. Like it was not like that. It was, let's go out and we'll get fucked up. And we did. Yeah. But it wasn't, but I just wanted to be out. I wanted to listen to music. Like I loved live music, still love live music. So I worked in a live music venue. So it was like, let's go watch some music and have some drinks. And yeah, I'm going to get smashed because we're there for 3 hours and I'm drinking 4 beers an hour or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's weird. Well, maybe it's sad. I don't know. I don't know what it is for anybody that goes every time. I'm doing this to get fucked up. That's something. Yeah. That's something way deeper that isn't just alcohol related. I think that's how any other drug use happens. Is there's an escape that is trying to be had. Yeah, and you're just choosing whatever vice that suits your escape, right? So people smoke weed to escape, right? People drink to escape. People do harder drugs to escape, right? That's hallucinogens, right? So that's a deeper psychological, social issue. I don't think it's necessarily tied to alcohol versus weed, but
no. I was just pointing that out.
Yeah, I get it. And I'm glad you're not like that. I mean, listen, we exposed you to as much as we could, or as much as we felt was appropriate, because I didn't want you to graduate high school sheltered and then you go away to school and you get exposed to all this stuff and you're like, holy shit. And that happens a lot to people.
And that's what leads to addiction.
Yeah, it happened a lot to some friends of mine. I'm sure it's happened to people I don't even know that I know, but I don't know that it happened. So I think we exposed you to stuff so that you didn't have those freak out moments. And so that you can understand that moderation is okay. Safety is number one, right? No drinking and driving, none of that stupid stuff. Even though I don't know anybody on earth that drinks that can say, I've never drove after drinking. I don't think there's a person on earth that can look at themselves in the mirror and be truthful with that, right? Especially back in the day when we didn't have Uber and we didn't have apps just to call, dude, come get me. It's so easy now. Yeah. It's so stupid to do that now. But back in the day, they didn't have those options. So I don't think but anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. I think it's important to keep that because it'll continue to surface. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of social structures and business structures around having a drink, right? I was at a conference a couple weeks ago and we hosted a party at a restaurant and it was open bar, and that's socially and professionally accepted, so you got to be able to control it, otherwise you won't be healthy. I mean, it is what it is, so I'm glad you don't have freakouts, and I'm glad your goal when you were going out over the weekend wasn't let's get fucked up. No. Thank God.
And if it happens, that's just on me for dropping judgment, whatever. But yeah, I never go out with the intention to get hammered.
Yeah.
Sometimes the night just leads that way. And I'm like, dude, that was fun, but I don't want to do that again.
Yeah.
But going back to like our main thing, because I feel like, I mean, we talked a little more about alcohol, but that's just because that's something that we both have knowledge of. I don't really have knowledge of Mary Jane, besides people that I know that have done it. So at the end of the day, I'm with you where I don't know why we don't punish it the same way. I think, in my personal opinion, I think it should be a state issue. I don't think the federal government should have anything to do with it. But they control liquor laws and stuff like that, and tobacco laws. So it's definitely interesting, but I don't see a huge issue with it. Because like we talked about, it goes back to the person. You're in charge of how screwed up you get on anything. So I just don't think it should be illegal. I think there's a lot more downsides to alcohol than there are to Mary Jane. Even doing studies in high school where you look at, how it affects the human body. And I mean, your lungs can be screwed, but like alcohol can cause your liver to shut down. It can cause your heart to stop. It can cause all kinds of blockages.
Yeah.
And I'm, again, not saying Mary Jane can't do the same thing, but it's a lot harder to get your heart to stop on Mary Jane than it is with alcohol.
Yeah, no, I think we agree. I learned today about, where kids get it now, especially in states that outlaw it, right? Like I had no idea.
I didn't know you could do it either until my friend was like, can you just come with me real quick? And I was like, yeah, sure. Like, I don't care.
Crazy.
And she walked in, 2 minutes later, walked out. I was like, all right. Didn't even have to show her ID or anything.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I was like, that's insane.
Like, I think it's hypocritical, and I think it's ridiculous that they say it's illegal, but you can get all sorts of products that have the chemical in it, right? So why are we screwing
naturally occurring?
Yeah, just do it then, It is weird. Like, I have different views on it. It's weird. I don't judge anybody for it, but like if you came to me and said so-and-so smokes weed, I'd be like, whoa. Like, it would still kind of catch me off guard, but not because I'm against it. I think it's more of an age thing. Like, kid, like what,
kid, and we're 21,
right? Like, just like if somebody came and said, grandma does it, I'd be like, whoa, but
I'd be like,
that's what I
mean?
mean. It's like an age thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not what it is. I think it's just how it is. It's weird.
It's like hearing your grandparent curse for the first time, and you're like,
whoa, yeah.
You're like, I didn't know they knew how to do that.
Right. Yeah. It's just a weird thing. I think we agree that I don't think it should be separated out. I think it should be lumped in with alcohol law. I think I do understand why harder illicit drugs are illegal. I still believe they should be.
Yeah.
Some people argue they shouldn't be. People should do whatever they can. It's their bodies, their lives. But I've seen people on hard drugs, and I don't need any of that around me.
No.
And so yeah, I think we agree on that. And like you said, there's a lot of benefits to it as well when it comes to anxieties and pain and all that stuff. So yeah, I don't see why we do. I understand why it is, and it just goes back to what I don't like that's going on, which is the media manipulation and the government lobbying overreach by pharmaceutical companies, really more than anybody. But yeah, it's a good topic. I mean, it's weird. I mean, you got to remember too, when I was 21, you could smoke in a bar, you could smoke in a restaurant, but you can still you can vape in a bar. You can smoke in airplanes.
That's crazy.
You could smoke wherever, so it would be weird if we got back to a place where people are lighting up a J in the bar. I'd be like, what the hell? Like, not because I'm against it. It's just a mind jack, right?
What's funny, like, is in bars now, like, you can vape at the bar. That's fine. But if you want to smoke a cigarette, you have to step outside.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I guess it's because like cigarette smoke you can smell. Vape stuff you don't really smell.
Well, I mean, there's studies that prove that secondhand smoke damages people.
Yeah.
I guess secondhand vape doesn't. I don't know. I've not done any research on it. I'm not even going to try and pretend to know.
I think it's like, just because I was curious, so I did kind of look it up. Vapes are called that because it's vaporizing. So once you exhale, it has no effect in the air. Smoke still is a thick cloud. Like vapes, small ones, they just have a little exhale.
But there's nothing in that vapor that's damaging.
That's once it's into you, I think that's the most dangerous part. The exhale, I don't think shows any threat besides, I mean,
same with cigarettes. The part that goes in you is the most dangerous, but secondhand does cause issues.
Yeah, I don't know.
So,
I've been around people that have been vaping, and all that happens when they exhale is I go, oh, it
smells good.
Smells like strawberries.
So stupid. Smells good. It can't be bad. It smells good. Anyway, good topic. I mean, it's funny how you said, like, we have repeating themes, right? Media manipulation, government manipulation, moderation, right? I think this falls in line with all that. Like, listen, if they legalize it tomorrow across every state, I would be like, okay, it's not going to change what I do every day.
No.
And I would not be opposed to it. I'd be like, okay, makes sense, right? Like, it doesn't. Now, if they came out and said, heroin's legal, I'd be like, whoa, I don't know about that, right? I think there's a distinct difference. But I do also, when I was growing up, everyone's like, you can't get addicted to it. It doesn't do this. It doesn't do that. That's all bullshit. You can. It's at least an emotional addiction to have to do it. But so is alcohol, right? So, far more people, I'm sure, die of alcohol than Mary Jane. Statistically, I'm sure that's true. And, when I was a kid, people always laughed. They're like, if I smoke and I drive, like, I'm safe because I'm mellow. I drive slower. And, like, you find every reason in the book to make it okay.
Which is like,
but you're still impaired.
Still a problem, too, to drive under the speed limit.
Right. So, anyway, I mean, I'm rambling a little bit on it, but I think we're in agreement. Like, it wouldn't bother me if it was. It doesn't bother me that it's not. No. It doesn't affect me day to day. If I would have no problem if they did, but it would definitely change how I communicate with you and your brother if it happened when 100%. You guys were younger, right? Like, hey, listen, like we did with alcohol, right? Like, we would have to incorporate that in the conversation. Whereas now, I don't think people, if you're not in a state where it's legal, parents probably don't even bring it up, which might not be a good thing either. So,
and just to sum up everything that you said, I think if we have to stop making it such a big deal and just have the education around it, because it's just one of those things that nowadays, like, 1 in like 5 teenagers have a vape or have a cart. Like, it's just, that's how it is. So instead of like creating all this fear around it and this stigma of like, no, bad, fire bad, like just have, like, sit down with your kid like you guys did, explain this is what it is. If you choose to do this, this could be the consequences. But like, just have the education. Talk to people about it. It's a miracle. It's a miracle how many problems don't even arise when people just communicate.
Right. It's a shocking thing, right?
It's crazy.
But listen, that could be a topic for another show. Passive parenting versus involved parenting, right?
Oh, can we please?
So,
gentle parenting thing we are going to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, passive parenting is a joke, and you got to have a conversation with your kids, right? You have to be realistic. Like, once they get a phone, if you agree to give them a phone at 7, you better be having conversations, Right. So same thing with this. Like, if they legalize it tomorrow, I would pull Ryan aside and we would have a conversation because he's a teenager. He's in high school. You have to have the conversation. You got to do it. But it's a good topic. Listen, I think it's crazy that it's not. Wouldn't shock me if it went countrywide, that it became legal everywhere, and we'll deal with it from there. I've been in states where it's legal on work trips, and it trips me out when I'm walking down the street and I can smell it. I'm like, whoa, like there's still this social like reaction, like the stigma to it, which is my own biases from a time that I grew up, and it doesn't bother me. It just hits me in the face sometimes, like, whoa, hey, I'm walking through the streets of Boston in 2018, and it's legal. I was going to a Red Sox game. I was there for work. I was by myself, walking through the streets, going to Fenway. I'm like, whoa, what the hell is that? You know, like when I was a kid, if you smelled that, it was like 20 police cars were pulling up around you. You know, it's so crazy now. So
no, it's so funny. I was such an asshole as a kid. Like anytime we'd walk by someone, if I smelled cigarette smoke, I'd start coughing like I was dying. I was such an asshole.
You would. You would do that.
I'd
be like, Lauren, knock it off. I don't need to get in a fight with anybody because you're doing shit like that.
I did it all the way up until I was like 13 and going to Carowinds. We'd walk by a spot that was designated for smokers and I would still do it. Yeah. And my friends would be like, Lauren, stop it. And I'd be like, I don't want to smell that shit. Like, that's so gross. And then I lived in Columbia, where I think I was just secondhand high every day of my life down there.
Right. Well, it's more and more around. I don't even think cops look at it in states that are legal, like you said, the same way that they're illegal. I mean, the same way as they did when I was a kid. So, plus we had the North Division of the San Diego Police Department in our hometown. So we had you were going to get caught if you were doing something eventually. It's just reality.
And it's so funny, like with being in Columbia, even though that was the state capital, like I've been in a friend's car, smelled directly like it. And they were like, oh, I've been pulled over, and they didn't say a word. He was like, I think it's just one of those plain view things.
Anyway.
Good
show. Good
Thank
topic.
you guys. Yes. Thank you guys for tuning in. And if you disagree with us, that's okay. I mean, again, this whole thing is to show that generations may agree or they may disagree, and that's all right. But if you agree with us, just like we said, moderation. And next week, I guess we can talk about how gentle parenting is bogus and how spanking your kid isn't child abuse. But anyway, we'll talk about that next week.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, see you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you guys next week.
See you, kid.
Bye.